Good morning everyone and welcome to our Facebook Live. My name is Damon and I'm one of the keepers here at the zoo. I am going to have my mask on when I do the penguin feed and our talk, so hopefully you can hear me fine while I'm doing it. I'll just call the penguins down now. Little penguin! Come on! Little one! So we have been standing here for a little bit, so they're a bit confused because usually we jump straight in and do the feed. But yeah, so we'll jump in and we'll start now and they should all come on. Little penguin! Come on, little ones! Little penguins! Alrighty, cool. Here they all come down. So today I'm just going to be having a bit of a chat about these penguins as individuals and then the species as a whole, and I'll just be doing a little penguin feed as well. If you've ever seen one of our penguin feeds in person, you'll see today is going to be a bit different. Usually when we do the feeds, I will call out the name of the penguins as they receive a fish, and one of the amazing volunteers we have here at the zoo will record that down. Shout out to all our volunteers. We miss you and we're very excited to have you back at the zoo. The reason we call out which penguin is getting fish, there's two main reasons. We do it just to ensure if they're getting any supplements or medications, they have been receiving it. And the other reason we do it is to it's just a very good way to tell if the penguins are sick. Penguins, like almost all bird species, are very good at hiding when they're ill. And yeah, so they will keep it very secret, and a decrease in diet is a very good way to spot if something's wrong with them. So people are always very surprised when I do the penguin feed and I can tell each individual penguin apart. I do kind of cheat when I do this, so each penguin has a little coloured anklet, and that makes them very easy to ID. In saying that, the penguins do have slight physical and like behavioural differences as well, and I've worked with these guys for almost 2 years, so you kind of do start to figure out the differences between them. So yeah, they do all look very different and they do all act very different. There's a few different examples of this. So one of our penguins, Snoop, has figured out that he can climb up on this little rock, and means he gets as many fish as he would like, and he doesn't have to compete with the other penguins. And we reward this behaviour because it is very adorable. We also have our penguin Sylvia. If you ever hear me squeal while I'm doing a penguin feed, it is probably because Sylvia pecked me. People are very surprised whenever I tell them that the most dangerous animal I work with is a little penguin. And that's mainly because of Sylvia. So pretty much all the bites and scratches I get here at the zoo come from her. And then finally we have Taka. We call Taka our special penguin. We're not really sure what happened with him, but he just learned to eat very funnily. He probably weighs more fish than all the other penguins combined. And he also usually ends up covered in fish guts at every feed, which is great. So at the moment, this is TK and this is Smalls that are still down here getting some fish. Some more might come down in a little bit. Where am I going? So yeah, as you can see, they're all kind of running up to their nest now. So we feed these guys pilchards. It's the main diet we feed them. In the wild, they'll also eat other small fish. They'll eat crustaceans and squid as well. At the moment they're eating about 10 pilchards a day, but this can change quite a lot. We might actually head up to their nesting area just so we can keep having a look at them. So yeah, as you can see, this is their breeding den. We set this up in the summer so they can all come in here and set up for their breeding. So yeah, they get very excited in their breeding area and they make a whole lot of noise. But yeah, as I was saying with their diet, at the moment they're eating about 10 fish a day. When they're preparing for their molt, they can eat up to 20 pilchards a day, which is a very impressive amount when you look at the size of them. They molt once a year, and that pretty much just means they shed all their old feathers and regrow new ones. and they do this so they stay nice and waterproof. So when they molt in the wild, they do not eat for about 2 weeks, as they can't swim, so they can't get food. So they stock up on a lot of food beforehand. At the zoo, they do occasionally come down for a fish when they're in their molt, but they eat a very small amount. So if you ever see quite a fat penguin that's feathers look a bit odd, it's not sick, it's probably just in the middle of its molt. So as you can see up here, guys, this is our penguins nesting area. We're very lucky here at the National Zoo and Aquarium in that we're involved in an Australian-wide little penguin breeding program. The reason we have this program is just to ensure we always have a captive population of these guys, just in case anything does happen to the wild population. And it's pretty much an insurance population, so these awesome little animals never go extinct. So little penguins are very funny in the way they breed. It's a pretty common myth that penguins mate for life. This isn't necessarily true. They will quite, as you can see, there's a little bit of a squabble going on. They're very competitive and defensive of their nest during the breeding season. But yeah, so these guys don't actually mate for life, but they will get the same partner through a breeding season, and they will always nest in the same area through multiple breeding seasons. And a lot of the time they will stay together for multiple breeding seasons as well. We're quite lucky here at our zoo. All our penguins are paired off in happy little breeding pairs, and there's no penguin drama. But at other zoos and in the wild, penguins can actually be involved in same-sex couples. They can get in groups and they can switch partners, which is very sad for the penguin that gets left behind. I've mentioned before our penguins' names. Our penguins do have very interesting names. All the penguins that are born here at our zoo are actually named after rappers. So this is Taka that's currently walking towards us. He didn't get any breakfast just before because he was looking after the eggs while Mum was down getting some brekkie. So that's why he's very interested in what we're doing right now. So I'm very happy he's out because he's the only one that's showing up for our Facebook Live. So with our penguins, we have LL Cool J, we have Snoop Dogg, we have Jay-Z, we have Smalls, we have 360, we have Dizzy, we have Taka, and we have TK. And then we also have Sylvia and Snickers, who are two penguins that weren't born here at the zoo. They came from Taronga last year and are the newest addition to our breeding program. So as you can see, Tucker is going back into, or he's heading back towards his nest box. He is partnered with TK. And yeah, so hopefully if everything goes well, we'll have some little baby penguins running around here next year. So a few things about these guys. Little penguins, surprisingly with their name, are the smallest penguins of all the species. They usually weigh about 1 kilo, and just to show how small they are, the emperor penguin, which is the largest species, is 20 times the size of them, which is a pretty crazy difference. They're also the only penguin that has blue feathers, which is their other name, which is the blue penguin. These guys are found through New Zealand. They are found in New South Wales, South Australia, Victoria, and Tasmania. Unfortunately, they don't really have many big populations left on mainland Australia or Tasmania, and this is due to introduced pest species such as foxes, cats, and wild dogs. The three animals I just listed are very skilled predators, and these guys just have not evolved to be able to cope with them. They put all their effort into being amazing predators and amazing at avoiding predators in the water. So, you know, they have to deal with sharks, sea lions, seals, lots of other deadly things. So yeah, unfortunately they don't cope so well on the land. Luckily, but there are a lot of offshore islands, especially off the coast of Tasmania, that do not have these feral pests, and they still retain large populations there. Just so we're not ending it on a bit of a sad note, these guys actually, so yeah, as I said before, they do get very defensive of their nest, and it's odd for us to be up here, so that could be putting them on edge a little bit. They never really cause anything actually like serious wounds to each other. It's all very superficial, and there's a lot of posturing, where not ever serious fights. But yeah, so in the wild, these penguins are very busy trying to find food and not become food. We take care of all those issues in captivity. So they get fed twice a day and they're kept nice and safe. And because of that, it's a very important part of our job, and I think almost the most important part of my job, to keep these guys mentally stimulated and enriched. In saying that, it is very hard to do that for penguins. These guys' perfect day is if I feed them and don't come and see them otherwise. I'm very big and scary to them, and they don't want anything to do with me. So we have to get pretty creative with our enrichment. A few things we do for these guys: we'll do funny little things, like we'll build them sand castles. We'll put little toys and floating like fake birds and stuff in their water. We'll hang little shiny mirrors or little toys or branches and stuff like that. So just all these little things just to break up the monotony of the day and try and keep it interesting for them. But yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about our fairy penguins. I always love talking about them and showing them off. But yeah, hopefully we can see you guys here in person pretty soon. Bye everyone.